All right, fastest 15 minutes on social media, fastest 15 minutes on the internet. My name is Judson Powell. All right, we're going to keep on going with the comedic spirituality thing. And so the other night, I'm riding with my son, and we get hungry. Well, he gets hungry. I don't really get he gets hungry. He like, Dad, can we just go get one of them hot and ready pizzas? It's only $5. And so I'm like, okay. So I pull up, at the place. I can't really say the name. I guess I'm not. I guess you can't really say names or whatever. And so I give him the money. He gets out. He runs inside. So then there's this other guy. He's coming out, and he's black guy. And so he recognizes me. I don't know. And I'm just like, you Judson Powell. Does he owe you money? So anyway, so then he starts talking to me about the Bible. And I'm like, look, man, I'm off. I just want to get this pizza and go home and go to sleep. So then he starts talking to me about I'm under a curse and all of this other, but then, well, have you read the Deuteronomy curses and blah, 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 blah. I said, brother, I have read it all. I said, do not come at me like that. So I said, first of all, you are what you believe you are. You are the sum total of your beliefs and everything that you've experienced in your life. And I said, it has nothing to do with that book. And basically, so I kind of piggybacking on what I was saying, yesterday about all the spells. So he actually believes that he's cursed. He's like walking around believing that he's cursed. And I'm like, bruh, you are not cursed. Look, I was like, look, even if you were, okay, even if those words or whatever, it's only because you believe them. And I'm just like, I don't believe none of that stuff. That's why I stopped believing. Because I realized that every time I was reading them and saying them and all this kind of stuff, and the only things that I really subscribe to are Amenemhotep, who is the writer of the Proverbs, because they are wisdom. And then if you go back, look, and go and get the Egyptian Book of the Dead. All right. And I'm saying it like that because they don't put the real name of it because they didn't want y'all to read it. Do y'all realize, look, people don't read that book because they're afraid of the title of the book. And it was not us that changed the title. Okay. So go get really it's the Papyrus of Aset. What am I trying to? And the book of Coming Forth by Day, or Light, the book of Light. That's really what the words in there really mean. And if you read it, you will find out that the entire King James Version of the Bible pretty much, was plagiarized and then changed around. And that's why I tell you, so unless you understand the code of the Bible, then what you're doing is you're reading spells, incantations, and the like. And it's like, why? Curses and all that kind of stuff. It's like we didn't have curses. Just like people remember, I don't know if y'all remember this, but back in the day, they used to talk about King Tut. And when King Tut's the exhibit, this is when I was a kid, the exhibit was going around, and so people didn't want to go see it because they said that King Tut, that he had a curse, that because when they unearthed his tomb, right, and his burial chamber, everybody that went in the chamber died, except the black people. But all the white people that went around his mummy and all that kind of stuff, they ended up dead. So they were like, and they tried all this time to figure it out, and they kept saying it was a curse, it was a curse, it was a curse. But guess what? It wasn't a curse. What they had done was they had put poisonous spores on the walls. And black people were immune to that's why the people that were putting this stuff. But all the white scientists died. You know, like my son be saying when an artist is dead, come on, rest in peace. And I know that's not funny or whatever, but it is to me, sort of, kind of, because they try to always say we dumb. So anyway, so now what I was saying about yesterday. So when you get all of this stuff into your belief system, and I was talking to y'all yesterday about how when you get all of this stuff in your belief system, then all of a sudden it's like you gotta, your mindset changes, and what one of Amenemop's sayings is what one of his proverbs is what, as a man thinketh, so is he. So as you think, that's how you feel. And so that's why we tell people to practice affirmation, to practice meditation, to go introspectively into yourself, because you are what it's all about, because you are God. And so people get, how are you going to say that? Because generator, operator, destroyer, that's what, and that's why that's the Moorish code. And I keep saying it over and over again, so that y'all, because that's what they do to y'all in church. They keep saying the same stuff over and over again. So that's why I said, to thine own self be true. Know thyself, and to thine own self be true, right? And then, because you got to change the way you think. The only way you're going to change anything is to change the way you think. And when you start thinking with the mindset, and here's the other thing, and I know this because when you start thinking with the mindset of Ma'at, you start thinking like those 42 negative confessions, those 42 principles, of which they stole the 10 Commandments from that, and then they stole some of the other ones later on down in Deuteronomy and stuff like that. So when you go but you don't understand what it's talking about, it's not commandments. And so I try to tell everybody, it's not a commandment. It's just saying, look, this is your netter. This is your nature. You have, and like I said, I wrote a book called The Power of 10. And I wrote that book like a long time ago when I was getting my thesis in theology. And I was like, okay, here we go. It's like all of those things are an indictment. What are they? They're an indictment on human nature. And I knew that back then before I was completely woke. I already figured. I was like, well, why are these the commandments? Because you got to pretend you have a propensity to be able to do those things. You can kill somebody, you can steal, you can lie, you can that's your nature. That's what's in your nature. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to gain balance. But what the later on the Greco-Roman, Caucasian system is, looks at it as it's a commandment. But there's no God saying that you better do this, because like I said, the universal law of grace. Because unless somebody catches you, they don't know. That's why do you think they go around being hypocritical? A lot of these, especially the politicians, they go around being hypocritical, lying, whatever. Because they know unless somebody catches them, or unless somebody can prove it, then they get away with it. I mean, seriously, that's how it goes down. So you got to understand that those negative confessions, and I suggest that everybody, that they govern their lives by Ma'at and not by the Bible, because in fact Ma'at is better. The system of governance or self-control is better. Why? Because it teaches you how to be what? It teaches you how to be accountable for the things that you do. It teaches you how to keep your life in balance. It keeps your life in truth. It keeps your life, in justice. That's the other thing. Because everybody has that ability to do things, but why did you do it? See, that's the thing. But when you live, and so that's why we're always talking about balance too. It's like everything has to be in balance. And last night we were talking, and we were like, well, look, if you live your life in balance, all right, and that's, once again, that is, people be talking about, equality. There's no such thing. There is balance, but there's no such thing as equality. Women, just like, for example, women and men are not the same, and they're not supposed to be. They weren't created to be. You know, women get mad, I want my rights. Rights of what? If you live by those 42 negative confessions, you got all your rights according to the universe. Right? Yeah, I don't want to talk. So that's why I try to tell you, just like men are not, so women are 95% emotional and spiritual and maybe 5% practical. Men are 95% practical and about 5% spiritual, and that's why it's very hard. That's why, and once again, even in the Christian church or in the mosque and stuff like that, there are always more women than men. Because why? Because men got that, have the God complex. And now Jamil Hill, that the lady that used to be on ESPN, she's coming out talking about, men want the patriarchal thing going down. Yes, because men are patriarchal. That's their job. And stuff like that always makes me laugh, but they're making it, of course the media is making it into an argument or a fight, men against women or whatever, but that's not how it is. The divisions that we have, or the differences that we have, are supposed to make us better together. I'm going to say that again. The differences that we have and the divisions that we have are supposed to make us better together. That's why I don't hate on white people. I know I make a lot of comments about Caucasians and stuff like that, but what I'm trying to do is just to get black people to understand the history and to understand where things came from and how you got there. Just like and when I was talking, even yesterday when I was talking about spells and incantations, like commercials are incantations. They're spells. Why you think sit up there and you'll watch something and they'll play 400 chicken commercials, pizza commercials? That's what makes you want to go out and buy that pizza. Because they have basically brainwashed you. That's the same thing with television. Just like the theme songs. How many of y'all can sing a theme song from a television show? You can. I guarantee anybody my age could definitely sing the Flintstones. Right? You know the Flintstones theme song or the Addams Family, all these different theme songs. Okay, you can sing them. Why? Because they're embedded into your psyche. So what you have to do is you have to embed the positive things into your psyche. And once you embed the positive things into your psyche, then what you do is you subconsciously run on those positive things. That's what happens. And that's how you end up vibrating higher. That's how you make your life better. Because when you go into your meditation state and you say, look, just like I used to be a horrible procrastinator, and my son is too. So he's a chip off the old block. But I used to be a horrible procrastinator. If I didn't have to go to work, it's like, and now that I have, but now I'm actually self-motivated, and now that I don't have a job, it's like I'm retired. I don't work, so right. Boom. I work to get money to feed my son. It's a long story. Anyway, but you got to understand. So that's how you end up vibrating higher. Just focus in the stuff that's negative. I have not procrastinated. You can add your own stuff to my yacht. So if you know that that you did this or you do that, then add it on there. I will not drink 100, glasses of soda today or whatever it is. But those confessions, that's why they call them negative confessions. They're confessions. And the Bible stole that too. The Catholic Church, confession is good for the soul. That's why they have confession. But it's not that kind of confession. It's your own self confession. It ain't got nothing to do with the priest. Father, forgive me for I've sinned. Please tell me, do 27 Hail Marys, turn around 5 times, and you'll be absolved of your sins, my son. It's not that. It's trying to change your psyche, your mindset. That's all it is. Anyway, Fast 15 Minutes is up. I hope you got something out of it. I love you all. Hit the like button, subscribe button, hit all the buttons, but most of all, once again, hit the love button.